And Fextra getting some heat for embed views, and those inflated numbers got him into more trouble with Dragon Age Early Access NDA. I don't remember the lore. I just know that like they had their site, and their site had the Twitch player embedded on it, and people would go to their site for like, what was it? Was it tutorials and walkthroughs and stuff? And then while they're doing that, they would have their stream embedded in the site, but it would be embedded and it'd be in this tiny player so small that you couldn't even see it. So people didn't know that they were farming views for this person. I think that's what it was, right? Yeah, right. They like scraped info from other guides and then put it all onto their like wiki. And then they would have a player embedded on every page that would be like a 1 pixel by 1 pixel width and height player. So if you were reading through something on the site, you would be giving that person a view because of that embed. And that was their scheme. I remember reading about it and I was like, hey, that's genius. Crazy to do that. And like I said, like if you get found out, like what a, you know, you climb tall, you fall hard kind of thing. But like, Jesus Christ, to think of that and implement it is like crazy. There's part of me that's like, I have a lot of respect for the idea. I have a lot of respect for coming up with things, but actually doing it is crazy, you know? If they did it once to test if it worked and then like made a YouTube video about it and they're like, I did this, it would have been like a cool tech project. But I think it was legal at the time. Yeah, I think it was legal. It was just that like Twitch had to find it out and then do something with it to, you know, not make it a thing. I don't know. Something that really bothered me. I remember when Aura from Opera GX debuted. She's the Opera VTuber, and people were trying to liken her and her debut to that situation. Like, I don't think she and Opera did anything wrong, but what they did was they put like during her debut, if you just opened Opera to just like your basic screen, a lot of those people had like the player in there, but it was full size. You knew you were watching a thing. It wasn't a 1 pixel embed, and it wasn't force fed to you. It's just like on that screen if you weren't already on a URL. And she was the representative VTuber for their platform. So I was like, this is fine. But I remember some people trying to liken it to the Fextra Life thing, and I was like, hey, this is nothing alike. like this was like none of that was like nefarious or anything. You know what I mean? And it was so obvious. You could just click off of it and not give it the view easily. Right? If you want to disconnect from that, so easy. So I was like, I don't know. I remember that made me so mad. Mask out of the browser, and people were mad that the browser was advertising her. You know who was mad mostly? I'm gonna be real with you. Other VTubers. It wasn't so much viewers. It wasn't so much people who weren't VTuber fans. It was other VTubers that were making the biggest posts about it. And I was like, just say you're jealous, okay? It was pissing me off so much. I was like, if someone is a talented person, they try out for something, they win an audition, and they get through because they're going to be the voice and the person behind a thing because their personality is wonderful, okay? They made it, and now they're part of this company, and the company wants to help promote them because the company put time and effort and resources into them and chose this person, then they deserve it. Also, life isn't fair. If it was totally unfair, also life isn't fair, so who cares? But it was very fair. Like, she earned that. So I was like, these people are so annoying. These people are so annoying. I don't know. But then you don't see them complain. Here's my tinfoil hat thing. You don't see them complain when someone has that scenario happen in a big VTuber company, right? They get picked up out of nowhere, they get put through this company, they all glaze, and then they're like, oh, so happy you debuted, whatever. They do that whole thing because they don't want to make the company mad. It's fake as man. They'll be so nice, but then they'll be mean to her because she's not part of one of those other companies. She's just like a lone person, so she's an easy target to go after. I saw it and I was like, just call it what it is, man. You people are just being mean, just to be mean, and because you think you can go after her as opposed to these other companies. You know what I mean? That's how it felt. I really didn't like when they were trying to liken it to that, like the whole Fextra Life scenario, because I was like, this is a totally normal, I'm working with this company and I earned it and they're backing me. I don't know. There was literally nothing wrong with it. Said, I mean, that sounds like it's exactly, yeah, a corp. Yeah, right. Yeah, they don't want to get blacklisted. People are so afraid, man. They're so afraid. I don't know. Just support everyone, and if you don't like them, say nothing. Like, it's not that hard, right? It's not difficult. It costs you nothing to just be like, I'ma hold back. I don't know, dude. Twitter goblins hate it when someone does something. I think it's a lot of people sitting around not doing much. So then when someone is doing stuff and trying, I've noticed they try to tear people down for trying. Like, if you try to make money, they attack you for it. If you find success and you're trying to get people to notice you because you want to be successful, they attack you for it. Like, any amount of effort, they act like it's like uncool or like scummy. It's the same crowd that's like, artists should live in basements and eat peanuts and make art because they love art. And if they want to turn it into a business, they are killing art. It's the same people. You know what I mean? Like, they're just incorrect, but they'll always say that. You know what I mean? It's weird. Yeah, you said it's a strange thing to get mad about. If it was super successful, then there would just be more opportunities for other VTubers. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm very like a rising tide lifts all boats, okay? Every time someone within your community does well, this is not a time to be jealous. This is a time to be like, yes, more attention on one of us means more attention on all of us. We all benefit from this. Maybe you won't feel it super directly, but the community as a whole, the whole thing becomes a little more known, and it makes it a more viable career for more people, etc., right? It's a good thing, as long as it's good tension, of course, but like it's a good thing. I don't know why people would ever get mad at it. They get too caught up in their own shit and the idea of competition that they forget that if we all held hands, sang kumbaya, and all tried to push each other forward, we'd all just do better. Like it just like straight up, we'd all do better. And yes, like moments of drama get a lot of attention, so there are times where something terrible happens and everyone's dunking on it, and like it actually does bring more people in, but usually it brings the wrong kinds of people in. So I don't know. Doing artwork for the art is great, but in this society you need to survive. Yeah. It's, hey, do your thing. If anyone cares deeply about what you're doing, when what you're doing doesn't really affect them, they're weird. Ignore them. That's all. That's the rule of thumb. Or they're being weird. Maybe they're not always weird. They're being weird about it. That's all. Done. End of story. If someone's like watching something a creator's doing and getting so bent out of shape over it, but again, it doesn't affect them, it's time to log off, buddy. Get up, deep breath, go for a walk. Unironically, like that's what they need to do. It's crazy. It's just weird. It all draws from the same bucket. Yeah. It's all, that's what I'm saying, right? It's all that same bucket of like, artists can only enjoy art. They're not allowed to make it work. They do it with game. I notice a lot of old gaming creators are kind of stuck in that headspace. I know a lot of the old heads, people that have been streaming for like 10 years and have been relatively successful the whole time. A lot of those people like won't take sponsorships because they come from an era where if you took a sponsorship, everyone called you a sellout. So you had to be like, I won't do it. Even if I like this game and they're looking to pay me for no reason and I wanted to try it out anyway, they'd be like, I won't take the money for it because I'm just here to enjoy games and it's so important that I only get paid by my community and no companies. You know, it was just a thing that like people demanded of a lot of the creators back in the day. And then over time, people realized like, hey, it's kind of better for money to come in to that person from a company and not them just needing it from their community, which is why I liked sponsorships, because I'd much rather have them pay me than be like, oh man, I wish you guys just gave me more just cause. You know what I mean? So I'd much rather do that. I think that's way healthier. Especially like if I was looking at the game, most of the sponsorships I take, it's already recommended to me on Steam. I've already wish listed it and I was like, oh, maybe I'll try that out. And then I get a ping from someone who goes, hey, this company has this game coming out soon or it just came out or whatever. They'd like to sponsor you. Why would I say no? Like I already saw it and I was like, yeah, why not? You know what I mean? And for someone to like, the way the old heads had it, where they would be like, how dare you take money for this? You're supposed to love it for the love of the game. I'm like, brother, it makes no difference. It's one thing if it's like a game that they would never try ever and they're hating it and their community's hating it and blah, blah, blah. Like, but if it's something that was on your radar, then who cares? You know, or maybe it wasn't on your radar, but you see it and you're like, yeah, that looks like something I would play. Okay. I don't know. I feel bad that a lot of those people have a hard time still getting out of that mindset, or some of their viewers won't like let them do that, you know?